Good evening. It is October 13th, and welcome to Cape Media News, your source for hyperlocal news that matters. I'm Lauren Williamson. Last week, the Barnstable County Human Rights Advisory Commission released a public statement against hateful and intolerant acts in the local area. The statement condemns racist and homophobic graffiti recently cited within the community, as well as the violence of a local white teenager who attempted to drown a black teenager in Chatham. Also listed, residents who have been protesting the housing of migrants at Harbor Suites in Yarmouth. Cheryl Ball, founder of the Cape Cod Concerned Citizens Facebook group, spoke up at this week's Select Board meeting to voice her concerns.
Good evening.
Hi, Cheryl Ball. And I wanted to address a couple of things that came up in the last couple of weeks. One thing was a letter that was published by the Barnstable County Human Rights Commission. And I believe this is a commission that Mr. Forrest is a part of. And there was a statement that was made in a letter. And by his approval, I have to assume that Mark Forrest is aware of this statement because it was approved unanimously, this letter that was published. And in that letter, there was a statement, and I do want to read that because I found it very upsetting. The statement read as follows: "We stand against the intolerance and hateful language incited at recent protests against temporary migrant housing." That's the exact statement. So I brought with me tonight a couple of the signs that our group holds at protests. You'll see this one says, "American Veterans First." This is a good sample of a sign. This is another one, "Close Our Borders." Most of our signs are like this. They say things like American citizens first, legal citizens first. I want to know, what about these signs can you classify as hateful or intolerant? Because that is not what our group is about. Our group is about having the laws that this country has be enforced as they were written and intended. And that is not happening right now with this migrant crisis that we're facing. Our issue is not with the migrants. We have not protested anything directed specifically at the migrants. They're here. I don't blame them for being here. If I were in their situation, I would do the same. Our issue is not with the migrants. Our issue is with our government. And I see nothing hateful or intolerant about our signs. And I would appreciate it if remarks like that were not made or endorsed by anyone on this board. So that's one thing I wanted to say.
Point of information, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I'm not a member of the Human Rights Commission, but as a county commissioner, I do involved in appointing the commission, and we have multiple boards that make statements that are entirely on their own. So those statements were made not without my involvement. They were made, but not with my involvement. Just so that you know that. We have that in the town of Yarmouth. We appoint numerous boards. They make decisions. They make statements. Sometimes, in fact, almost all the time when they render opinions or recommendations, they do those essentially on their own, and that happens at the county. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for clarifying that.
Okay. I saw your name as listed as the chair of the county commissioner, so I assume that you were aware of this letter. So my apologies.
After the fact.
Okay. Well, I still would appreciate a statement from you saying that you do not support that statement, because I find it reprehensible, the way it was worded and the way it was directed. And if we're going to ever get past the division in our country, we need to stop making statements like that. Because the statement was also lumped in with it was also lumped in with another comment about a racial incident that happened in Chatham. So the way it was lumped together in that paragraph, you know what the intent of that message was by this Human Rights Commission.